What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another lucky dip. And this is one that Herman sent me a little while ago. I not only appreciate his patience, but when he commented and asked if I could do a reaction for his birthday, it seemed like a perfect time to get back around to something that he had been waiting for a long time, again, very patiently. So first off, happy birthday to Herman. And the tune we're going to listen to is by a group, I'm assuming, perhaps a duo, perhaps a singular artist, but LaTour is the name. And the track is People Are Still Having Sex, which presumably is very true. There are babies being born and there are prophylactics being purchased, at least in some places, I suppose. But yeah, ultimately, I wonder what the essence of the phrase is, which, no matter where you are or what society you're talking about, this does seem to be a perpetual reality of humanity. Now, fair to say, the birth rates of some countries have dipped into the negative, and, there are questions of how much sex leads to progeny, shall we say. But yeah, I do wonder what the essence or what the context for this assertion is, and not knowing LaTour in any way, I have no basis upon which to evaluate the title specific to the musician or musicians in question. So let's find out what it's about, or as much as I can catch. This is LaTour, and the track is People Are Still Having Sex. And thank God for that. Oh, hello. I like the way it's staggered in the clap. I already like the bass line, and now we go heavier and deeper. So more of an overt dance thing, which I wasn't thinking going into it. What are you doing?
Have you noticed that people are still having sex? All the denouncement had absolutely no effect. Parents and counselors constantly scorn them, but people are still having sex and nothing seems to stop them.
It's the biological imperative, man.
Do you realize that people are still having sex? They've been told not to. Perhaps they are perplexed. When you see them holding hands, they're making future plans to engage in the activity. Do you understand me? People are still having sex.
The experience of that
Lust
is
keeps on lurking.
complicated and multifaceted, but
Nothing makes them stop. This AIDS thing's not working.
one thing does
People
lead
are
to
still
another.
having sex.
But I'm now
It's been going
understanding
on for
more
quite a while.
the context.
Perhaps it's quite fashionable. It hasn't gone out of style. It's a fact that people are still having sex. It's rather obvious. It's just what one expects. The evidence is all around that everyone in every town has had it one time or another in their life. At this very moment, people are still having sex in a downtown condo or street in the projects. Although you can't see them or hear their breathing sounds, someone in this world is having
Thank
sex
God
right
for that.
now. People are still having sex. People are still having sex. People are still having sex. People are still having sex.
I accept your proposition as likely veracious. Box, like, don't worry, bro. I'm here. see that coming. I thought it might do more with the toccata and fugue, and then it's like, no, wicked funky bass line. Acidy. It's got some acid drizzle. Go on. You cheeky. What she said. Just got very classy.
People are still having sex. Lust keeps on lurking. Nothing makes them stop. This AIDS thing's not working. People are still having sex.
I do wonder about the nature of that
It's
line.
been going on for quite a while.
This AIDS thing isn't working.
Perhaps it's quite fashionable. It hasn't gone out of style.
I like that high
People are still
xylophone
having
type
sex.
melody.
People are still having sex.
You are so lit.
People are still having sex. People are still having sex.
Yep. True. So like I said, obviously, if you mention AIDS in the context of this, then it's a question of like, you know, are people being responsible? Are they using protection? Is the sort of like initial lack of clarity of maybe what the risks were, like what the you know, HIV even was? Is that part of it? Is it, you know, because again, the like, there's an implication that it perhaps, you know, was intentional, or there's some like, oh, you know, this thing that we're trying to warn people about, it's not working. So then is it like, is it about, you know, the people not heeding those warnings? So I do wonder. Either way, like a really cool dance tune to convey whatever message is inherent there. And yeah, like I said, I like some moments, in particular, that moment where the toccata and fugue organ came in, always classic, and then suddenly we get this wicked, you know, deep and funky bass line. I like the sort of acidy touches in the lower end of the tune. And yeah, it's like, you know, it had that trip hop feel to it because it was a spoken delivery for all the actual lines of the tune. We had some female vocals, so those were mainly like, you know, teasing laughs and sort of sonic atmosphere relative to the subject matter. But the actual vocals were, again, sort of not rapped, not rhymed even really, but just that sort of spoken, you know, like sonic poetry type of delivery. So yeah, a cool tune. I'd be curious to hear more about it and like the you know, release date. You know, I would be inclined to guess later than the 80s, when I know that's the real period where you do get multiple songs about AIDS and, you know, the impact of that on different communities. But I do wonder, you know, if it's produced back then or if it, you know, is a track that comes from more recent times. Either way, once again, shout out to Herman, not only for sharing everything, but I do appreciate the patience. Luca appreciates everything as well. Are we going to get a leg stretch? Nope, we're going to get a leg curl. In any case, do let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.